But yeah, so Ghoulies had that wonderful poster, had that wonderful slogan. Didn't really have an awful lot else wonderful about it. Had some sort of sketchy animation effects, a few rubber puppets.
There was a Ghoulies 2, wasn't there?
There was a Ghoulies 2. Ghoulies 2 set in a fairground. In some ways, Ghoulies 2 is better. And then there's a very, very interesting Ghoulies 3. When I say interesting, I mean dreadful.
Yeah.
Which is Ghoulies Go to College. They've decided for Ghoulies 3 that they're going to sort of put these rubber puppets into this kind of frat house comedy. And now the puppets talk. They have sort of wise guy voices.
Yeah.
And they're all, oh, look over there, there's a naked lady.
So this is kind of treading on my Minotaur.
Yeah, except it's Ghoulies. And so Ghoulies 3 is all very sort of boobs and beer and whatever. And then Ghoulies 4... which is just god awful. I mean, Ghoulies is a reasonably, entertaining sort of. It's never going to.
Yeah.
Am I rambling now?
No. Just a thought popped into my head, but I
what was the thought? No, clearly it was clearly more important than my capsule review of Ghoulies 4.
It's really not worth it.
Tell me.
This is quite shameful.
Yes, tell me. I talked about shitting myself in Short Circuit last podcast, so...
Well, I was just thinking of an alternate title for a Minotaur film.
Yes?
And it was just BA with Horners.
BA with Horners.
Because I was trying to think of an academical thing to throw in there to get the high school.
I see, yeah.
And that's the best I could come up with. Horners. And I laughed at my own ineptitude.
Right. So you weren't even listening while I discussed Ghoulies, were you?
Because we talked about the fact that Ghoulies were in college.
Right.
And there was almost a part of my brain working on that while I was still listening to you. So I wasn't ignoring you.
One part of you still listening to me.
And it just distracted me.
I'm
so I do apologise.
I really am. No.
Do apologise for taking up your time with that.
The rubber puppets that had served the series so well for 3 Ghoulies movies.
Yeah.
In Ghoulies 4...
There's 4?
There's 4. And you see, I knew you weren't listening. I was already talking about 4 by the time you interrupted me with, what was your title again? Say it again. Let everybody know what you interrupted me for. Clear throat, that's it. Now say it. Say it with feeling.
BA with Horners. Horners. It's like honours.
And everyone's going to think it's got BA from the 80s.
And the picture is a Minotaur with a little scroll in his hand and a black cape. Like the traditional graduation picture.
And
it's a Minotaur.
It's horn, and then it's the last bit, us or us.
Either. But then at the corner or the edge of the backdrop, you know that kind of fake marble backdrop they use?
Yes.
There's kind of like heads like stacked on each other, popping around the corner, like
looking
the different comedy characters, like the attractive girl,
right,
the jock, and then the guy with the nerdy guy with the big glasses, all pulling kind of mugging faces, looking round at the Minotaur,
right,
who's posing for his graduation picture. It's great, it can't fail to win. Ghoulies 4.
Ghoulies 4.
Is there a suddenly
fifth one? No. So you'll have to say something else.
Just 4.
Yes. And the awful thing about 4 is they've got rid of the green slimy puppets and they've got little people wearing furry suits. So,
but aren't they supposed to be Ghoulies slimy?
They were initially slimy, certainly, but.
Did they dry out by each film and then grow hair, or was it gradual?
Well, one of them was always a bit furry. They were varied, you see. They didn't all look like the one that popped out the toilet. But maybe he just fell over on a kind of rough carpet or was lost down the back of the sofa and picked up the hair. But yeah, so there's just 2
I think there needs to be a prequel to explain this.
In Ghoulies 4, there's just 2 Ghoulies. They're both played by little people. They're both furry. And they both talk like the Ghoulies do in Ghoulies 3. It's just atrocious. I mean, Ghoulies 4 is utterly, utterly awful. And I mean, my standards are fairly broad when it comes to these things. It's 12 rated as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 12 rated film with little people in furry suits. And it's a million miles from the sort of green, slimy comedy horror elements of the first one. Really awful. And so that's what happens when monsters go wrong.
Yeah.
Unlike the BA with Hornus, which is what happens when obviously an idea just really takes flight.
When magic happens.
When the magic happens.
So, so go on.
I was also going to say, in addition to the Ghoulies, there were Munchies.
Right.
Which were sort of...
Not the chocolates?
Not the chocolates, no. Mintolas, yes. The Munchies... Mintolas turned into Mint Munchies, didn't they?
Mint Munchies.
Yeah, they were originally called Mintolas.
Right, yes.
But yeah, Munchies was a Roger Corman Gremlins knockoff.
Right.
And then that had a sequel that was just called Munchie. So it did the Aliens route, except it just decided that it was obviously already punching above its weight by having many of these little bastards running around. And the sequel was entirely aimed at children, as far as I can work out. But
was there a third one called Munchless?
There may have been a Munchie 2.
Right.
I'm not sure. Which is again one of these things where it sort of goes off at a tangent, and they decide to change the sequeling numbers. Which, although that's not really what we're here to talk about today, the Scanners series did that.
Yes.
Scanners series went Scanners 1, 2, 3, then Scanner Cop, then Scanner Cop 2,
and there was a Scanner Force as well.
Yeah, no, that's Scanners 3. Scanner Force is Scanners 3 The Takeover.
Right, okay.
It was a British recycling.
Right, fair enough.
But what was the other one? The Leprechaun movies.
Yes.
When Leprechaun 1, 2, 3, 4, then Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yes.
And then Leprechaun in the Hood 2.
Right. I've still not seen Leprechaun in the Hood. I have it.
You do?
I've watched it.
I think everybody's got it. I think everybody was issued a DVD of it at some point.
I didn't get it with your birth certificate.
Yeah, exactly. It's not expensive.
No. Good?
No, it's not good either.
Am I wise in not having watched it yet?
Well,
will it upset me?
As Little Monsters movies go, I mean, again, Leprechaun it kind of fits in that whole same groove with the Critters, Munchies, Ghoulies kind of thing. Leprechaun is poor old long-suffering Warwick Davis again. And although I think he's actually having some fun here. It's hard to tell because he's under a lot of latex. But I get the impression he certainly attacks the role with some vigour.
And well, you have to with those ones.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No one wants to see a subtle leprechaun.
No. Although, interestingly, were you aware that Warwick Davis played a different leprechaun in a movie which I think is called Leaping Leprechauns, where he plays a happy leprechaun, and that came out at the same time as one of the Leprechaun sequels, more or less, give or take a few months. And so he was appearing as both a happy character helping children and also an evil character slaughtering teenagers.
And just as an add-on to that, I'm going to start using leaping leprechauns as an exclamation of surprise from now on.
I thought you already did.
No, not enough.
Not enough. No, probably not.
Okay, so of the little monsters, is the Gremlin King?
Yes,
of the little monsters?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a fondness for the Puppet Master movies as well, although they go down some odd. Yeah, their journey is a long and difficult one, as you say. There's a Puppet Master meets demonic toys that's got Corey Feldman in it, as if the sort of fact of being a 9th Puppet Master movie and featuring a crossover with another movie everyone's forgotten about wasn't enough of a burden to carry. To chuck Corey, the lone remaining Corey.
Maybe it's kind of like
that sounds like the beginning of a song. A Corey, the lone remaining Corey. Tell us a story. Anyway, sorry.
Maybe it's kind of like a hell. It's designed to keep those things busy and out of the way of real films.
That's possible, actually, because it does kill lots of birds with a stone, which is a hobby of mine.
So, Gremlin, King of Little Monsters.
Yeah.
Medium-sized monsters, fondness for Minotaurs, but I think my heart lies with the Wolfman.
Right.
Which I've talked about a little bit already in an article.
Right, okay. Was there an article up on the site?
Paul Nash.
Yes, absolutely.
How much
and you've also talked about your love for big monsters in a recent article that's gone up.
Yeah, and I didn't necessarily single out one monster as... I mean, Godzilla, kind of, you can't...
You can't get away from him, because he's too fucking big.
Gamera is trying hard, but he's always just a turtle. Rockets or not. So I think Godzilla, best big monster. Has any slipped through the net? Are any we're missing out on?
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of monsters out there. And
really?
It's difficult to do such a broad subject justice in such a short podcast. But I think we've given it a good old try.
Yeah, and if anything, we've come up with a dynamite pitch for a film.
The BA with...
Horners.
and how's that spelled?
Horners. ERS. We could also throw in a fact that there's a family called the Horners.
Right.
Kind of like Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
But then then you've got to call the Minotaur BA, haven't you? For bad attitude in the same way as... Yeah. Because otherwise... Yeah, that doesn't really make...
Maybe the Horners could be like a brother and sister who are at college trying to make their way through, trying to get... I don't know how the Americans get a scholarship for something. That's how it works, isn't it?
Probably.
And the Minotaur gets created by a disgruntled professor, put in a maze, and murders everyone horribly.
Can you be gruntled? Not you personally.
I don't know. If you went up to someone and said, "Hello, I'm gruntled," they wouldn't immediately think that means happy.
No, they wouldn't. Although it clearly does.
Yeah.
I was so gruntled last night. Yeah. Really was. I haven't been so gruntled in many a moon.
Hello, is everybody gruntled?
We've been quite gruntled today, I think.
I think so. Yeah, we've had a productive afternoon.
Absolutely, satisfactorily fondling our way through the glorious history of monsters.
Of our two most recent podcasts of Monsters and Robots, who wins out of Monsters versus Robots?
Robots.
All the time?
Yes.
Well, they have it. Officially, Monsters are inferior.
Yes.
to robots.
Is everybody gruntled? Let's just go now.
I think so.
I've been Joe Trick.
And I've been Dr. Gogol.
We will miss you while you're gone, but not so much we'll stalk you. Yeah. At least that's what we'll say in court.
Yeah. Stay gruntled.
Stay in school, kids, and stay gruntled.
Yeah, but not a school that's got a Minotaur.
No, with Horners.